Hey guys, what's up? It's Sean, Autotopia LA, and welcome to another episode of For the Win. Today we're looking at two of my favorite cars we've ever shot. Although they're both different in certain respects, that they are different cars. One's a Roadrunner, one's a Cuda. They're both Mopar, they both have big block Hemis. They were both used in the Fast and Furious franchise, and there's a lot of similarities yet differences with these cars. So let's look at car number one here. My friend Jamie's Plymouth Roadrunner, a 69.5. This car was built to be a stunt double in Fast and Furious 4. I don't know if you remember the scene where Letty rolls the car, goes up in flames. Letty's dead. And she comes back later on though, because you can do that in Fast and Furious. But the car was used as a stunt double in it. Luckily enough, the shot that you see in the movie, they got it with the first stunt double and they didn't need to crash the car that Jamie ended up buying from my neighbor Dennis. So Jamie buys a car that's prepped and ready for rolling. So it's caged, it's got chassis work. Jamie buys the car, and Jamie's an interesting character. He's a production designer by trade. So he's a guy that uses his hands. He builds things on a regular basis. So Jamie did the bulk of the work to this car other than the elements that he couldn't do himself, like the glorious engine that comes with this car. It's a Keith Black built engine. Look into Keith Black, well known for producing big power drag racing engines. The engine was originally a 426 engine, pushed out to about 497, right around 500 cubic inches. The block on this is a full drag racing block, so this block could actually handle somewhere in the neighborhood of about 3,000 horsepower. This car is nowhere near 3,000 horsepower. It's actually making about 700. But I love all the things that Jamie did to this car, how it's very race car inside, it's pretty minimalistic. There's a series of switches to start this car that you would never figure out. I mean, it's not only millennial proof, it's just human proof. You ain't figuring out how to start this car. But I love you see the cage in there, you see the race seats. It's a manual transmission. The car's just well built. It's still got the beautiful Roadrunner horn, which I absolutely love. You can't have a Roadrunner without having the beep, beep. And one of the things Jamie did that a lot of people really hate about this car, and I don't get it because I'm so about function over form oftentimes. If you look at the engine and how the carburetors, it's a cross ram setup, so the carburetors are offset from each other. He completely reconstructed the hood so that the air cleaners sit up into the hood, and he created 3 scoops so it's constantly feeding cool air into the naturally aspirated engine. I absolutely love it. And when I saw comments in the previous video on this car, people griping about the hood, I'm sorry, you kind of missed the part where this is all pure functionality, which this car's just pure function. So Jamie builds himself this car that's purpose-built. You can go really pound on it. It's got, give or take, it's somewhere in the 700 horsepower range. In the video, the one thing people did complain about, and I did too, and Jamie's one of my really tight friends, and we all gave him trouble about it, was I don't know if he ever saw much over idle the way he drives. He's such a baby the way he drives this car. But that's Jamie, and that's Jamie's car, and he should do what he wants. So absolutely, truly love this Roadrunner. It's one of my favorite Roadrunners out there, and yes, there's prettier ones, more refined, but just the elements that make up this car, especially that Keith Black Hemi, man, it's such a bitchin' car. All right, so enough about the details on Jamie's car. Let's jump in, go for a very mild ride with Jamie, just so you can get a little sense of how badass cool this car is. You're barely getting into it, but you sure feel the torque.
Yeah.
What'd you say, 800 pounds of torque?
801.
Have you noticed any difference in the clutch since you bled it?
Yeah, a little bit. It seems a little better.
Yeah.
It's a twin disc clutch.
Yeah.
Which again is a racing thing and maybe not as streetable as it could be.
Yeah. How long have you had this car, dude?
11 years, I think.
Wow, man.
Definitely 10.
God, it's got so much torque.
Yeah, I'm
You're
short shifting.
barely getting into it.
I'm short shifting because it's cold, you know, the motor, the aluminum, you know, you kind of want to warm it up a little bit. It's getting to temperatures now, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
These seats are comfortable too, man.
Yeah. I've also, I always move the seats back. I'm 6'4" plus.
Yeah.
And I have some damage in my legs from a motorcycle accident. And so
Hence the name 20 Screws, right?
Yeah. Several accidents, actually. So my ankles don't bend like they should, unfortunately. There's a bit of hardware in them. And so the longer my legs are, the straighter my legs are, the more I can sort of duck foot my pedals,
right.
which helps me a lot.
Nice. A lot of people that watch this will think the same thing I do. I love that you drive your car.
Easy, Tiger.
Ooh. So cut over to another one. This is a 1970 Cuda that my brother used to own. I'm still a little pissed at him for selling it because in the end, I spent more time in the driver's seat of that car than he ever did. And I started to feel like it was my car a bit. And then I was reminded when he sold the car that it was definitely not my car and I had to say goodbye to that thing. And as I talk about it, it still bums me out today. Anyways, okay, I'm back. So this is another one that was used in the Fast and Furious franchise. If I remember correctly, this was in Fast and Furious 6. At the end of the movie, they've saved the world. They're back at Dom's house having barbecue and Coronas. And it's sitting in the driveway for the scene where you see The Rock and Vin Diesel almost kiss.
Not bad for a cop.
I make fun of Fast and Furious all the time because you can, but I gotta admit, I also own all of them on iTunes, so I'm a fan of the franchise. But this Cuda was originally built by Dave Salvaggio when he had Salvaggio Auto Design. Salvaggio later went on to help start Speedcore, left, and now he's back to Salvaggio Auto Design. So this car was built about 15, 16 years ago. It was bought by our friends out in Germany, Chrome Cars, who owns a lot of movie cars as well as a couple hundred other cars. This car, at the heart of it, is this beautiful, carbureted, naturally aspirated, 540 cubic inch Hemi, and I absolutely love it. Big torque on this, good horsepower, again, right in the same range as Jamie's, about 700 foot-pounds of torque, about 700 horsepower, give or take. I don't remember the exact numbers on it, you guys. But this Cuda, the styling of it was so cool. The timeless element of it, how they did a tribute to the AAR Cuda. We all know there was never an AAR that had this engine in it, but it's such a cool tribute. One of the elements I absolutely love about it is the stripe going down the side, how symmetrical it gets and how it continues to get smaller and smaller as it comes to the back with the AAR Hemi Cuda logo on it. The stance on the car was perfect. The wheels I absolutely love, the Fisk wheels, the red line tires. The styling on this car is just so timeless. I think right now you could pull up to any car event and you're gonna have one of the coolest vehicles there, and I think it's gonna be like that 10, 20 years from now. And one of the things that was always so great about this car was hot day, cold day, it just didn't matter. You literally pumped the gas pedal twice, put your foot halfway down, turn the key. Every single time this car would fire. And every time it was just a reliable drive and you could be mild on it, cruise it on the freeway, no problem, 6-speed Tremec. So you could easily be at 100 miles an hour and you'd be sitting at like 2,000 RPMs in this thing. When you look through the rear wheels, the view is so cool on this because you see that it's an independent rear, you see the dual coilovers, you also see the inset brakes. right off of a Jag rear end, that inset brake setup. So the view through the rear was always so cool on this. I'm also, any of you guys that have watched episodes of ours, you hear me say it over and over and over. Every time a car has side exit exhaust, what do I say? I love the side exit exhaust, even though you lose a little bit of clearance oftentimes. Who cares? Absolutely love the side exit on this car. And then the interior was very simple, still very race car overall. Instead of harnesses, it had a shoulder pull that I still loved because of the safety element of it. Very simple interior. Again, this car was built a lot of years ago. All I can say is it's still, to this day, you know, probably because I spent so much time in the seat of this car, just an awesome, awesome car. Chrome cars, thank you guys for buying that car, because I know at some point I'll get back over to Germany and I will get to drive that car again. I know that for a fact. As cool as this car is to look at, to hear it, to see it, everything about this car, the best part is going for a drive. So jump in with me as we go for a little ride around LA in the Cuda. Isn't that D-cell tone beautiful? Listen to this. Sometimes I fall short on how to describe the experience of driving any cars. A lot of times you hear me say, so cool, so cool. You know, I could probably do a lot better, but the truth is, I just find it amazing how many incredible cars I get the privilege of driving, and I truly mean a privilege. And oftentimes when you hear me talking, the best I got, because I'm so in the moment of enjoying the experience of driving cars like this, that the best I got is, oh man, this thing's so cool. All right, so let's look at the two, kind of do the usual, which one am I picking for the win and which one are you guys picking for the win? And oftentimes what I've been doing so far is saying what I like and what I don't like about these cars. And the truth is, there is nothing that I don't like about these cars, either one of them. Although there's elements that are different, the Cuda's a bit more refined on the interior, not much, but a bit more. But both of them big block Hemis, both of them carbureted, naturally aspirated, good torque, good power, driving great. You ain't gonna wanna turn either one of these cars. They're not that, they're muscle cars. So I got nothing bad to say about either one of these cars. I just love both of them. But given the opportunity, you probably already guessed it with me because of how much I love that damn Cuda and how much I miss having that car. 100%, hands down, sorry Jamie, I love you and I love your Roadrunner. Hands down, the Cuda all day long. I would take that car over a lot of muscle cars that are out there because of the sheer reliability, the perfection of the drive, the sound of that thing. Absolutely miss that car, love it. 100% for the win is the Cuda. So as always, you guys, a big thanks for hanging and watching what we do here. Want to hear from you, man. Let me know what your pick is, which one and why for the win for you. We've got a bunch of announcements, and I probably shouldn't lead to it, but the truth is we've got so much new stuff happening at the channel here that I'm really excited about regarding merch stuff. We're gonna start creating some membership related things on the channel, but I'll dig into those very soon. So I'm gonna leave you with just the always appreciative thanks for hanging out and watching what we do, and I'll see you in the next episode. All right, you guys, later.